Collective Advantage Podcast. We're getting into it, guys. It's a good day to be here. Let's start off. If you haven't already, subscribe, give us a like, drop a comment. It helps a lot. We're trying to master this algorithm. We're trying to be algorithm daddies.
Which is difficult because whenever it's good information, it gets suppressed.
That's right. We're going to make this algorithm submit to us. We're going to take it by the reins, and we're going to domesticate this algorithm like a wild stallion. We're going to impose our will upon it.
What Booger said.
I'm feeling it today, dude.
That was a very
I've
filtered.
got good vibes.
That was a very like PG version of some stuff we would normally say.
So I wanted to talk to you about this. I'm sitting in the car the other day, driving, taking my wife to eat somewhere she wanted to go. Probably couldn't agree on what to eat.
Shocker.
I gave in. We're going where she wants to go. Already, like, I'm like a wussy, so I'm already like a little ticked about it. Like, yeah, dude, fine, we can go where you want to go, dude. Right, so I'm already dealing with like my own like BS.
Yeah.
And I'm driving, I'm looking at the road, I'm not even looking at her, and from the corner of my eye, I can see a form, the formation of a thought in her head as she looks at me. You know, I see her turn her head and go, and she goes to open her mouth and she says, me and Raven were talking the other day, and we were talking about how, like, you haven't even mentioned us on the podcast before.
Contribute.
Well, it's like...
Just kidding.
Like, yeah, no, I don't sit down with the homie, and the first thought that comes to my mind is like, you know who I want to talk about? My wife. Even though I love her to death, she's like the greatest thing in my life.
Yeah.
Like, she's not the first thing that comes to mind when I'm like chilling with the bros.
She is a very like yin to your yang or yang to your yin. You know what I mean?
For sure.
But yeah, I get that because it's like, I feel like that's why marriage is like so, like there's two extremes. It seems like, right? There's the fairy tale marriage that all the women see and want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then there's like the governmental agreement where, in our state specifically, maybe the masculine side of the things gets kind of jimmied up, you know?
Yeah.
But in the middle is what it's really about because we've gotten away from that.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, people forget that it's a covenant with God that you're going to, you know, become one with this person and pursue him with them.
Yeah.
And it's like, myself included, like, obviously, my track record is not the greatest. And that's something for me that was a big deal to think about because it's like, the marriage certificate and all that, it's a joke, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I don't know. I just don't really think about it much.
You've got to have like also like a really realistic outlook on what a marriage is. Because it's not always going to be easier like this fairy tale. Like this is where the babes get like really messed up.
Oh,
like,
yeah, dude.
the women, like, and even men sometimes I think can fall into this trap of like, it's always going to be easy and it's always going to feel great. And like, love is like this like crazy thing that like it's like a feeling. Like love is not a feeling. Love is a choice, dude.
Yeah. And it's also like people always say like, oh, I want to be happy. And they equate happiness with joyfulness.
Yes.
And that's not, those are two different things.
Because happiness, you know, you take that root word hap. Happiness takes a happening. Happiness is the result of events. It's what it's a cause and effect. Joy, I believe, like love, is a choice. Like you gotta like choose to feel joy. Like you gotta choose. Like joy it's different from happiness. I also think joy most of the time comes from God.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say it's more spiritual.
Yes.
You know, or I would imagine, or like emotional.
It's like a state of being. You gotta like really like sit in it. You gotta like choose it. You gotta like, all right, take a few deep breaths and then connect with that like joy in your heart.
Sometimes I often wonder what like series of encyclopedias has been downloaded into your hard drive of your brain.
What do you mean by that?
And folks, an encyclopedia it's this really crazy looking thing. It's a book, right? and it has lots of information about things throughout the world. It's kind of like Google before Google, those of you who don't know what an encyclopedia is. But, I mean, like, the root word of happiness is not something people would generally know.
Yeah.
Myself included. I wouldn't have thought about that.
It's pretty interesting, though, right?
But, yeah, I just think it's weird that we equate happiness with joy because, I mean, obviously my opinion on things is kind of harsh.
Yeah.
That's just kind of how I am, right? Like, I think happiness is more of like an illusion.
Yeah, you're a little cynical, but you're a pretty like joyful guy.
Yeah, I'm super joyful. Like, but what I'm saying is like, I think we're told what makes us happy, but we feel what makes us joyful. If that makes a difference.
Yeah, I agree with that. Or
makes sense. I mean,
like we were just talking about like vanity. Like I think a lot of happiness comes from like vain things. Like, oh, I got a new watch and that makes me happy. And like I can flex on all these pores.
Spend $100 on Richard Mills. That's what you're talking about, dude.
Hell yeah.
That's to watch that old Young Dolph wore. R.I.P. by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These rappers are dropping like flies.
Hold on. I forgot. Let's take a minute. Though he is nowhere near as powerful as our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ,
dude,
we must remember the late and great roundhousing, ass-kicking Chuck Norris, dude.
Dude, when I heard the news, it almost brought a tear to my eye.
Yeah. I'm waiting to see like them be like, nah, just kidding.
Chuck Norris has left the building, ladies and gentlemen.
He has. That's devastating. And I know this episode's going to be a week and a half late from when that actually happened, but
yeah. But I mean, dude, like I was such like a karate nerd when I was like 12.
Yeah.
And like what got me into like wanting to learn how to fight, there's a Bruce Lee movie. I'm sure most people have seen it. A lot of the younger people in the coming up generations, 18 to 20-ish year olds right now, probably haven't seen it.
Yeah.
But there's a Bruce Lee movie by the name of The Big Boss, where Bruce Lee is like the hero character, and the bad guy hires a character played by Chuck Norris to like beat up Bruce Lee and stop him. And they have this like crazy like fist fight in the Colosseum. Like it's filmed in Rome in the Colosseum, and that fight scene is so awesome. There's like the little drums, like the dunk 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 dunk, and then there's like this like cat that shows up randomly. Like it cuts from like Bruce looking intense, and he's like sitting there doing his little bounce, you know, and they stretch. So they're getting ready to fight each other. They're sitting here like stretching, like it's like the way they build tension, and then it cuts to this like cat, and it goes meow, like. There's something about it. The way they build tension, they're getting ready. There's like a respect between them. And they have this fight scene. It's so good. That is what like got me into like martial arts, like heavy. Like,
really?
When
I don't even think I've seen that.
Dude,
when you describe it. I really don't think I have.
It's so good. There's a part where Bruce, like they're fighting, and like he parries and like grabs him by the chest hair, rips out Chuck Norris's chest hair, and looks at it, he goes,
a lot of that, dude, like what I liked about those old movies, like with Bruce Lee and everything, is like they were fighting movies, but there was still like satire in there.
Yeah.
You know? Like they're super funny.
It's kind of silly.
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't watched a lot of Bruce Lee movies though.
So good. Enter the Dragon is the best one.
I've seen bunches of like clips, but I honestly couldn't tell you even the title of a Bruce Lee movie.
Dude, sit down and watch Enter the Dragon. It's so good. Like, it's not like the best writing ever, but it actually has a pretty cool like plot.
Yeah. See, because all the karate movies and stuff I watched were like comedy movies with Jackie Chan.
Dude, Jackie Chan is a beast.
That's what I'm saying, though.
I love Jackie Chan.
Dude, it was so cool to me that back then they did all of their own stunts. You know what I mean? Those two specifically, like, they did their own shebang.
Yeah.
And most of it was real.
Do you know Jackie Chan was in Enter the Dragon as an extra?
Really?
Yeah. So there's like you can watch an interview where Jackie talks about it, but Bruce is like fooling around with the nunchucks in this one scene, and there's an extra that misses his mark, and he gets a little too close and gets cracked with the nunchuck. He's going, ugh.
Yeah.
That was Jackie Chan.
Really?
Yeah, before he was ever big, but he was like still like a kid.
Which is wild because he, like, all of his movies, I think it's cool how the end of the movies, like in the credits, it shows all of the screw ups and stuff where he's like gotten hurt, you know?
Yeah.
And that's still to the, like, it still started then when he was a kid.
Yeah.
Jackie Chan was like an absolute, like, icon.
Yeah.
For me, whenever I was like, I thought Jackie Chan was the baddest dude on planet Earth.
I love Jackie Chan, dude.
Yeah.
Rumble in the Bronx. It doesn't get any better than that. Well, he's like fighting people with their own jackets, like taking it off, like, wrapping it around him, like kick them out the door.
Yeah.
Golly, that gets me excited.
The boys love the ones with Owen Wilson, Shanghai Noon and like Shanghai Nights or whatever.
Yeah.
They love those movies.
Have you got them on what's the one with Chris Tucker?
Oh, Rush Hour?
Rush Hour.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
Rush Hour rules.
Yeah. Dude, old movies just were so much better.
So much better.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the Chris Farley movies.
Dude, that's dude, when you said old movies were better, the first one that came to mind was Tommy Boy.
Yeah. The boys really like Beverly Hills Ninja.
Yeah.
They watched it like when he's in there and they're at the like hibachi restaurant and he's like, "Oh, yeah." And he's got like the big fish and he's fighting him with that. Dude, Jackson thought that was the funniest thing ever.
Dude, there's something about like Chris Farley, like what a special like talent.
Yeah, dude.
Like he was so funny.
Yeah. Didn't the cocaine get him? Something got him. Some kind of drug.
I believe it was an overdose.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
That was a good one though.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. They just don't like comedy movies are still good, which I'm curious to see how that
Bus Boys?
The Bus Boys movie is. Yeah.
I'm excited.
It should be pretty good.
Theo is the man. Theo Vaughn rules, dude.
Well, Theo Vaughn with how he is, and then David Spade's like experience.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna crush it.
Yeah.
Or it'll be like a total flop, one of the two.
It looks like there's a lot of funny people in there. I saw a clip the other day that had Tim Dillon in it. Do you know who Tim Dillon is?
Probably if I saw him.
Dude, Tim Dillon's hilarious. He's like a fat, gay, like Long Island native. And he's like, a lot of his comedy is like political, like commentary.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to see it. Like,
is he the one? Like, he always looks. He has like a little bitty like scruff, like
maybe
on his chin. He's got longer hair, and he's pretty fat. And I don't know. I'll just look him up. That make a lot more sense.
Yeah. He's a little sassy, dude. Like, sometimes I forget he's gay, and then he'll be like a little sassy. I'm like, oh, dude.
Not who
hilarious.
I thought it was. Not who I thought it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do know who that is. But
yeah.
I'm interested to see how it goes.
Yeah. Should be. I think it'll be really good. Either that or it'll like completely bomb.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think it'll be good because they made it themselves.
Yeah. Without like a bunch of like input from like producers and like people that aren't funny.
Yeah, or people that are doing despicable things.
Yeah, Hollywood
have
is
lots of money.
Pretty crazy, dude.
Yeah, it's owned by certain or influenced heavily by certain people. Speaking of that, dude, this is I didn't even think about this till right now. Did you see that clip of Netanyahu talking about Jesus?
No. What's he going on about?
He was talking about how Genghis Khan, if he wouldn't have quit. Now, I mean, may not be exact quote, but he says that the greatest evil, if it just doesn't give up, can defeat Jesus Christ. For real. I thought I sent you that video. I'm dead serious.
Dude.
Yeah.
What does he know?
Yeah. But now, could that have been taken completely out of context in just a small clip?
Possibly.
Yeah. But I'm not going to fool with looking it up right now. But
that's like such a loser thing to say.
Well, I mean, so is they have nukes for 30 years.
Dude, you can watch the clips for literally 30 years, for decades now.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, we'll just keep on believing them.
Could you imagine though being like the Iranian scientist? For like 30 years you've been working on this nuke. Just like every like 2 years or so, like everything gets bombed. You're like, all right, we're starting from square one again.
Yeah. Well, could you imagine being the Iranian scientist coming up with all that, and then Oppenheimer's like, we'll throw it together in a few months.
Yeah. Oh man.
I love that movie too. A lot of people didn't like
Oppenheimer was a great movie.
Yeah. But speaking of stuff like that and suppressed information, have you ever heard of the Federal Writers Project?
Not really, no.
So I know we talked about it like briefly
Yeah.
before, but essentially, so it's like in the early 1900s, right around the time of the Great Depression, the government was doing their thing, you know, because they really support us and they help us out, the federal government.
Of course.
But anyways, they came up with a solution for it was like the preservation of old America, right? Because obviously, you know, something's got to come out of that. And it's like, okay, how are you going to build morale amongst your people and whatnot? And they employed the journalists and writers and all that, right?
Yeah.
So essentially, it was a program put on where writers would go take firsthand accounts of the American people, right? Because that's what matters. Meaning that's what people wanted to know. Like they know what's really going on. It's not like it's like an unfiltered version of what we get now.
Okay.
So they interviewed over like 2,900
And when
people.
was this taking place?
It started in 1936.
So like since the 30s, you can kind of like get an idea of how like captured the media has been. Like sort of like the news we get since the 30s is filtered through the federal government.
Well, and that's
in one way or another.
But that's what we know about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like as far as like the accounts of what took place around these major events like the Great Depression, the Civil War, I mean even the Revolutionary War's questionable by some people, but they interviewed people that were alive for these things, right? Before the Depression, when they saw all this stuff happening, and they even interviewed like prior enslaved people. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So they do all these interviews and stuff, and they write down the transcripts of these conversations. And in 1939, it was cut. And then, so from 1940 to 1970, they were stored in the Congressional or the Library of Congress or whatever, and weren't released to the public at all.
Okay.
But the reason I bring that up is because it's like we talk about. I mean, everybody knows about the Epstein files now at this point.
Yeah.
A bunch of suppressed information by the federal government. Like it's not,
of course,
it's nothing new is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
They did the same thing here, but these were firsthand accounts of people. And there's narratives in these, the Writers Project that like don't align with the stories we were told in school. Right. I mean, shocker, of course.
Yeah.
Like things as far as enslavement goes, because like we've all heard, oh, it's horrible, they get beat and this and that. And I'm not saying anybody should be enslaved, especially whenever you pay more than like 65% all in taxes, you're a slave because you work more for the government than you do for yourself. But there's always some sort of slavery, right?
Yeah, of course.
And there's some accounts of these people. The only thing I really saw was like them talking about their experience on like plantations and things like that, and them having a home and having food and whatnot. Like it's all the stuff that you don't get told.
Yeah, and like I grew up in like South Louisiana where like plantation houses were still like a thing you could go like visit. And like obviously slavery was bad.
Yes.
Nobody should be owned by another person. But I do think it comes down to like, were there like better plantations to live in, like better conditions to be in?
Yeah.
Yeah, like it wasn't all like Monsieur Candy from Django, like like feeding them to dogs and like crazy stuff. But
I'm sure that happened. Like, don't get me wrong.
Oh, of course.
But
it
like,
there were some cases where it was as bad as it could get, obviously. I almost like don't even want to comment on this. I don't want to say like slavery wasn't as bad as like people make it out to be, because slavery's terrible.
Yeah.
Like I want to be very clear. Slavery is bad. That's not something that anybody should do.
But it is also something that has always gone on.
Yeah, and like I also think it becomes an issue when we portray every bit of slavery as like Monsieur Candy or worse. Because you're not giving it like an accurate representation of what it was.
Yeah, no.
I think it also is used like a representation like that is used to stir up people and to create decades of anger and disunification.
Well, it creates easier like narrative control.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you can turn one certain type of people against another type of people and keep them from realizing that they're all the same anyway,
yeah,
then you can control somewhat of what goes on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why there's no real movement to like end that sort of behavior or that narrative, I guess.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
And it's hard to be nobody wants to be the guy that's like, come on, dude. Like, can y'all get over it?
Yeah.
Like, that is a terrible position to have and to occupy that sort of position. Like, that sounds and looks and is pretty bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
against the grain for some folks. But I mean, it's like we talk about it for hundreds of years at this point. It's kind of like, okay. Anyways, it's silly. But so there's lots of stuff like that in there. And I would like to look deeper into it to see what exactly is in there. Because I don't know if like the Library of Congress is the thing that you can go into as like a regular citizen. I'm sure you can like tour it or something, but
I don't know what kind of access you would have to those like particular
documents.
Yeah.
Well, that, and it's like you can't even really trust anything that's on the internet that document or that like says what is on them. Which I mean, even going back to those firsthand accounts and like if it's a transcript, it's probably easier to follow. But if it's a journalist's story, then they're gonna have their input and their influence on it.
Yeah, for sure.
So apparently they're transcripts of just the whole entire conversation.
Well, that's worth looking at, I'd say.
Yeah. But that being said, so there was a guy in there, and his name is Reverend Peter Pernin. Do you know who that is?
No, I'm not familiar.
So Peter Pernin lived in Peshtigo, Wisconsin.
Okay.
And that was around the time, specifically October 8th of 1871. Do you know what happened that day?
No, educate me.
So a series of things happened. Actually, multiple states, 3 different states, there was like huge wildfires. Right?
Okay.
And they were all simultaneous, which is the weird part of everything.
Yeah.
But the Great Chicago Fire that we've all heard about, like Miss O'Leary's cow and all that.
Yeah.
That was the same day.
I think that was debunked like quite a while back.
It was. So the Peshtigo Fire was in Peshtigo, Wisconsin, started there, and it destroyed the entire city, right? There was only one building that was left standing. But it destroyed that city and a ton of other towns. And it was like 1.5 million acres total. But the thing that's strange about it is it happened at the exact same time as the Chicago Fire happened and other fires across all of Michigan, all at the same time on the same day.
Mm-hmm. So that starts to look like a coordinated effort.
Either a coordinated effort or a singular event that caused them, or like a natural event, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of it, people are like, oh, well, somebody set the fires, right? That's what people think.
Yeah, of course.
But there's also a narrative that apparently there was a comet that entered the Earth's atmosphere, or not the comet, but like shrapnel from the comet entered Earth's atmosphere and impacted that certain area and set things on fire. Because there's like accounts of like strangely colored flames and stuff. But when I was in metalwork and we were like burning stuff,
yeah,
everything burns like different colored.
Yeah, that's like I've never heard of that happening before ever.
The comet deal?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I haven't either.
Like, can it happen? Yeah, probably.
Well, and there was also like a series of like months and months of, it was a dry season, like a drought for that whole portion of the country. So, I mean, it would just line up. I think it's kind of bogus because they, in 1997, they opened an investigation on it. And in 2004, they investigated the theory of the comet again, and nothing was ever definitively, like, there's no definitive reason as to why.
Yeah.
But there's not really a definitive reason as to why for any of them, because they think it was caused by a storm, too, because there was a storm at the same time.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Like, maybe, like, lightning caused the fire.
Yeah, which would be, I mean, and in those scenarios, it would be, it's no weird thing to have a fire, like a wildfire like that in a dry scenario.
Of course.
But it's weird that all 3 of them, or not all, there was multiple, but all 3 states around that area experienced huge wildfires at the same time.
Yeah.
I think total, like, the death toll was like 2,500 people.
Now, I have heard, I'm sure most people know, like in California, when the winds get really big, that can cause multiple fires because of it carrying embers and stuff. But I wonder how far apart these fires were. Like, if you're looking at a map, like, is that even reasonable?
To say that wind carried it? No. Well, as far as Peshtigo to Chicago goes, because I looked at that earlier.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want this to be some kind of bogus thing that makes sense. But they're so far apart, like way far apart.
Mm.
And they're across a lake, really.
Well, come on, dude.
Yeah. I mean, and embers and stuff could carry technically, but.
Yeah, but
not for that far. Like, it's like really a huge distance, really.
Yeah.
So, but it was just, it's weird. The weird part of it is like all of them happening at the same time, you know? Because you're talking about, which the one in Chicago was only like 3 square miles, but 3 square miles of Chicago.
That's a lot of Chicago.
Yeah, it left 100,000 people homeless.
Yeah. That's where they built O Block now.
O Block?
You don't know about O Block, dude?
No. If it's not in our little portion of East Tennessee, I don't really know a whole lot about it.
It's just like a neighborhood, like some projects that come up in a lot of rap songs.
From like okay.
Yeah.
It's probably a great place to live.
No.
Well, it's Chicago, so I wouldn't figure. Not a lot of people are like, oh, I'd love to move to Chicago one day, which sucks because it used to be that way.
It seems like a really cool place to visit.
Exactly, and I feel like
in certain parts of
if
Chicago.
you take all of the like Chiracness out of it,
yeah,
I'm sure it's a beautiful place.
That's what it looks like in like pictures and stuff. Like I've seen like Visit Chicago like ads and stuff.
Yeah,
like it looks nice. Like the same way like I get offended when people talk about like New Orleans being like violent and like crappy. Like you just haven't been to the right part of New Orleans. Like New Orleans rules, dude.
Well, and that's the thing. Like we went to St. Louis. We've been there twice, and shout out to 1P. And but it's nothing like what you see on the media. Like I know we've talked about this before, where they push like this, like black-white hatred or whatever. And I know there's a little bit of hostility towards law enforcement in the area, which I mean, there's going to be. The more people you have, the more prone you are to that. But
of course.
It's the real world is not like that. People don't hate each other.
Yeah, it's not like in the news. Like you would think these places are war zones. Like there's people that live there every day. They like it's a normal place. Like you can go there and not be dragged out of your car and shot in the head. That's how like you would imagine it is. Like no, it's just a place with mostly normal people.
Well, and the thing too is that's where a lot of people congregated back like way in the early days of America. So there's a lot of American history there. You know what I mean? In our big cities.
Yeah.
Meaning like
of course.
Like the architecture looks different.
Yeah.
It's more like way more. There's so many beautiful buildings in St. Louis. And I'm going to go back to St. Louis a lot because I've been there.
Mm-hmm.
But like there's tons of like these older buildings there that are just absolutely beautiful. And it's like, why are we not doing anything like that anymore?
Yeah. That's one of my favorite things about New Orleans. Like you go out there and you can see the different like layers of the architecture. And something really interesting, like just a fun fact about that for a second. You'll see the differences in the architecture because the ground floor of a building there will be French architecture.
Yeah.
And then the top floor will be Spanish architecture where the Spaniards moved in and just started, like, they built on top of everything.
They're like, I'll just add it in.
Yeah, because what had happened was France had originally owned, like, the Louisiana territory, sold it to Spain. Spain moved in, started, like, building, and then they had gotten, like, a war or something, and, like, they sold it back. So, like...
Back to the French?
Yeah. And then the French ended up selling it to America. But like it's just really interesting. You can see the history in the architecture.
Yeah. Which is what I'm like. I feel like there's like a demoralization of our culture, right? Because people are tearing down these old buildings and putting up these new ones. Like our new architecture looks like a freaking shoebox with windows. You know?
Yeah, of course.
And there's reasons for that. They don't want people to be proud of where they're from and what they're doing.
Do you know what the term for that is in architecture?
No.
It's brutalism.
That is the one I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Because I've heard Andy say it like 100,000 times. I just couldn't think of the word.
Yeah, so that like got like a big start. I don't know exactly who or where it started, but one of the like historically, like the biggest place you can see it, where like it took place, and like it was like government mandate, like the government of the Soviet Union is where this like really kicked off. They were building like government owned housing, and all these like apartment buildings, and like they came in and took away all the old architecture and just installed this like brutalistic, like very basic, it's not ornate, it's not worth looking at, to like kind of rob the everyman of like seeing things and feeling proud.
Yeah. Overall, especially of what your fellow man has done.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, because when you look at it, like the Marxist like ideology, it's all about the collective. It's all about the organism as a whole. The independent man shouldn't have any meaning according to like Marxist ideology. They're very like nihilistic, they're atheists, they're like it's all about the entirety of the organism. So for somebody to look at something and see something beautiful and feel in themselves some sort of pride, or like to want a possession, is not necessary. In fact, it's a problem.
I was going to say they see it as a problem more than not necessary.
Yeah,
because it stops their agenda.
Exactly.
Which we see a ton of now.
Yeah, they don't want us to be individualistic.
See, and that's why I really like the Alcoa area, right? For us, like you've seen the Alcoa High School, right?
Yeah,
like the new one.
Yeah,
and it's like this. It has like this big ornate, like
it's got like the dome and like the lights shine on it.
It's easily the best looking school we have.
Yeah,
right?
It's nice,
and it's the intermediate school's just not just like that, but it's very similar. And seeing them do things like that in our own home, like, well, not our hometown, but like right next to where we're at, is huge. I think it's a big deal because our downtown buildings aren't that old.
Well, also the way that Alcoa seems to be working towards encouraging people to be outside. Yeah, like as much work as they've done on the Greenway, like if you live in our area and have not like taken advantage of like getting on a bike or going on a jog on the Greenway, you're missing out like big time. It's beautiful.
Well, and I think a lot of that came from what we all faced during COVID. Because the big thing during COVID nationwide, or well, worldwide, globally, was stay inside. Don't go be around people. Don't do this, don't do that. And where we live at, it's a total normal thing for you to be outside like all the time, if possible. And to like spend time with your family, your friends, everything like that. And because we weren't meant to be inside of a dark freaking structure with no sunlight. You know what I mean?
Of course not.
That's why our body reacts to when the sun comes up versus when the sun goes down, you know? And it's like, I love that our local community and the people running it and influencing it, right? Like, I'm not on any kind of commission or anything like that yet. I'm sure I will be eventually, but like, they care about the things that really matter. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Of course, dude.
So, and I mean, I know money plays into everything. So there's other things that have to happen in order for us to have the funds to do that. Yeah. But it's good to see, even if it's just a small portion of what they make or bring in, like the taxpayers are getting something back for sure.
Yes. That's very exciting to see that, like, they're putting back into the community in a meaningful way.
Yeah. And I would love to see more buildings like that. Like, I know we've talked about the gym and stuff looking that way. Like, yeah. I would love for that to happen.
We need to bring back pride in not just construction and architecture, but in every aspect of our life. But one of the most easily identifiable, you see it all the time, you're driving past it, even if you don't look at it and go, that's a beautiful building, your mind takes note of that. Yeah. And it's little things like that that you don't think have a big effect on your psyche, but like it shifts something in your brain when you see that. There's a shift in your brain when you see like just a cracker box, like basic, like awful, disgusting looking building in this like brutalist style.
Well, and there's also, I feel like there's a sense of responsibility for you to defend something that you think is that way.
To defend it and maintain it.
If it's beautiful, yes.
Yes, and maintain, like, what I mean by that is, like, not littering, and, like, if you see trash on the side, like, pick that up, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's worth being proud of. It's worth you affecting your community positively. You want to be a part of that. You want to be a part of what makes everything nice and better. And, like, you don't lose that sense of wonder. Like, I don't know, dude. It's important. Like, it sounds like it's not. Like, on a surface level, I could be like, yeah, dude, whatever. The building looks nice. But it's those little things that affect, like, the human spirit, I think.
Well, and it goes back to an individualistic perspective, right? Like, not everybody is capable of designing that.
Yeah.
Not everybody's capable of building that. So,
but everybody should be capable of appreciating that.
Yeah, yeah. And the thing is like, the reason we say that is because we're given these other structures that are boring and squared off and easy to build, and they go up quick and they don't last very long. And it's like, we see that and think, okay, well, anybody can do that. Well, anybody can do the other stuff too, if they try. Right?
Yeah.
Like, the people who can design those other more ornate things and beautiful structures can do it because they learned how to do it.
Yeah.
But a kid can grab a bag of blocks and build a square building. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I also think that's a problem with, like, mass production of, like, things. Like, things are so simple. They're not made to last. And, like, in a weird way, that's like poisoning people's souls.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and it controls the market from where someone who has the ability and the finances to massively produce something at a cheaper rate, that's who's going to end up winning.
Yeah. It also, like, to me, it encourages, like, thoughtlessness. So, like, you walk into Walmart, you need a toaster.
Yeah.
At one time in your life, you would have, like, cared about what kind of toaster you got. I want a toaster that's going to last 10, 15, 20 years. I don't ever want to have to think about a toaster again. You know, I might buy a 200. I might ask my buddy, hey, Khalil, have you ever bought a toaster before? Like, you know, what's a good toaster? What should I get?
Yeah.
And you go, oh, you get an Oster or whatever. Hamilton Beach, whatever.
Yeah.
Now, like, and a toaster is just an example. This is like any product, anything. You don't even think about it. You go, the blue one.
Yeah.
You put 2 seconds of thought into it because you know that toaster isn't going to last.
The same thing with cars.
Yeah, cars.
Like when we searched for a car, right? We were looking. We needed a bigger SUV. It was either Expedition, Tahoe, Suburban. Like we went with the longer one. But anyways, it's like we looked for we bought a car based off of the warranty, not based off the car.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know, and that's the way you have to do it now because everything sucks.
That is awful. That's terrible.
Yeah.
Like, how can you feel pride in your things? Because, like, also your sense of identity and pride shouldn't come from your possessions. There is a balance. Possessions, that's not you. That's not a representation of who you are or your value. But you should have a pride in the work that you've done to get those things.
Well, I was going to say, it's not necessarily you or your identity, but it shows what you're capable of doing and enduring to get whatever it is that you want.
Yes, exactly.
You know what I mean?
But now possessions are no longer worth being proud of because everything sucks.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is a concerted effort to destroy the will and the soul of men.
Well, it's just for the most part, it's for them to make a quick buck.
I agree with that to some extent.
But it's like they've gone away from quality and focused on convenience.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like look at Amazon, right? Was it Jeff Bezos, right? Like he's clearly a brilliant businessman.
Yeah.
But he took out the factor of quality and just went off of convenience.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because at first he had all these big time tax breaks and things like that to where he didn't have to charge as high. He didn't have to charge as high for things, right? So he was it was like a commodity based company where he was the cheapest guy, so people bought from him.
Who cares how good it is? It'll be here at 3.
Exactly. Well, and then he was able to do that to where he can have it to us in an hour or two, and these other companies can't do that.
Yeah.
Because he's built such a large just backing of finances and infrastructure.
It is brilliant when you think about it.
Yeah.
He's clearly, I don't know if it's him or like the people he's in business with, because I don't think just one man can like sit down and come up with that. And like, I think it takes a team.
Yeah, but he had to have started the team.
I mean, he started like the
all dreams come from
company.
start with one person usually, you know?
But brilliant, dude.
Yeah.
Like to have the foresight, like when the internet was becoming a thing, like I have a lot of admiration for a lot of like the early internet guys. To have that kind of foresight is amazing. Well, it's really it's genius.
And I think a lot of people forget too is like he started. Do you remember what Amazon did first?
Books.
Yeah, it was just books.
Yeah,
that was it. Now you literally can buy anything.
Yeah.
Hospital beds.
It's crazy, dude.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tanning beds.
Yeah.
Like all of your home good furniture.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gym equipment. Like you can literally buy anything on there.
Anything.
And he just took advantage of the market prior to whenever the big boom. You know what I mean?
I also think that's a real problem with like human connection. Like a lot of the stuff we do nowadays, like Amazon, DoorDash, Instacart, all these services, you can like live in your house for months without having human contact with another person.
You can live in your house, period, without human contact with somebody, unless you got to go to the doctor or something.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And
that's so bad for us.
And it's becoming normal for people who usually aren't that way. Like I've seen Raven before. The delivery driver comes up there to the house, and like she's looking out the window at him.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, oh, I'm waiting for him to put my package down. I'm gonna go out there and get it. I'm like, go get it from him.
Yeah.
And talk to him.
Of course.
You know, that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Like my dad, he's 68. He'll be 69 in May. He goes out so Kevin, our UPS guy, he'll go out there and he like makes baked goods and stuff for him and stuff, and like takes apples to him. Cool. And he knows his favorite soda, so he buys it at the store.
Your dad's
and like he goes out there and talks to him and gives it to him. You know what I mean? And then like when he comes to our house, like the other day we were sitting on the porch with the baby, and he's like, "Oh, how's the baby doing?" And I'm gonna I held her up, you know, and he's like, "Oh, it's awesome." And the boys went down there and talked to him for a minute, and it's like that type of thing is not normal anymore.
Yeah.
And the same thing for the mailman.
That's unfortunate, dude.
Yeah, the UPS guy, the mailman. Now, I'll tell you right now, Amazon delivery people, I can't stand it. Because I honestly don't think 70% of them even have a license.
A lot of them should not be on the road.
Because I'm not saying it's because of them being part of a certain demographic, but it just happens to be all the same.
Well, it also happens that we have the unique experience of having pulled some of these people over.
Dude.
A lot of them do not have licenses or documentation.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
And then like
you'll see them whipping around the neighborhood like,
yeah.
Dude,
a guy come by my house, right, to go up to my parents' house in our because they come up like our little side driveway instead of going up the actual road, which is annoying. And dude, they come by my house. He's probably running 25, 30 miles an hour on the gravel driveway. And I'm like, dude,
what are we doing?
Yeah,
here?
my kids are out here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they just don't like it's and they're always in some kind of beat up Mazda or something or a little Honda, and it's like beat all to pieces. And you're like, can I get my stuff? Package? It's
sorry,
like, yeah,
sorry, I have your package.
Yeah, and it's like it's crazy.
Yeah,
but
I'm so sorry.
But anyways, all of that I feel is very intentional. Because we're made to live on these, you know what I mean? We're made to look into this and do everything on this, and this is who we are socially, right? Because
of course,
like, what people push out on social media is not how they really feel usually, or what they're usually like, what they're really doing. Like you look for like for couples, instance, like if you see somebody posting about, and I mean this ain't for everybody, so don't get all butthurt. It's not every situation, but if there's all kinds of like, oh, we're so happy. Oh, we're great. Yeah. We're doing this all the time. Here's a little. It's like,
Dude.
Buddy, it's a dark place in there.
Yeah.
You know?
Like people you know do that.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been guilty of doing that before.
Yeah.
Which I don't post much about my personal life now, but like,
no, me neither.
You know? But it's like, it's sad, dude, that we live on a 4.5-inch screen in front of our face.
Crazy.
As a culture, like a humankind.
That's a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is kind of ironic for us to say since we're doing this and trying to get views and likes and whatnot. But you know, comment, like, share, subscribe.
Yes.
Yeah. But
we're the good ones.
I can't wait though, in all reality, back to our like purpose of what we're doing. Like I can't wait for us to have a place for people to come to, fellowship, learn things, become a better person, feel better, get healthier. Those are the things that really matter, you know?
Of course.
Like I've been getting out and rucking for the past week and just being outside rucking for like 45 minutes to an hour every day. I feel so much better. Like physically, mentally, whatever. Like it's just awful. You know what I mean? Because like working out in the gym is awesome and I enjoy that a lot. But there's something, it's like rejuvenating to be outside.
That's what's awesome about the garage gym, dude. I've got my squat rack in there, pop the garage door open, you know, especially when it's like nice, like a day like today. I was just in there deadlifting. And you get like that warmth and you're just like, dude, everything is okay.
Yeah.
Like there's just something about like that outdoors, like you get a little wind, you get the smell of like your neighbor just cut their grass. Like it's awesome. Life is good. Hit my deadlifts, feeling strong, and you go outside, play with your boys, you know?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I take the boys, I play outside, you know, we're throwing the ball and stuff. Like it's just nice. Like we are definitely meant to be outside more than we are.
Oh, 1,000%. 1,000%, dude. That's why there's so many pictures of sunsets and sunrises and the stars and the ocean. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there's all kinds of pictures of all kinds
of
stuff. But
what's like the background when you first buy a computer? Like what's
it's some sort of nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's insane to me. Yeah. Like we've replaced like it's like a window. It's like having a fake window.
Yeah. It's like that's what it. When I was watching Fallout and they were in the bunker. Yeah. Or the vault, excuse me. That's what it makes me think of. Yeah. Right? Because like, oh, it's beautiful. Let's go out to the garden. And it's like just painted walls.
Yeah. It's crazy. Painted to look like a sunset. Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go outside.
Yeah, get outside.
It's beautiful. It's spring. Even if it's raining, do something outside. Be a better person. Make yourself better.
Yeah.
Not saying that you're not good, but just do it anyways.
Hell yeah.
Because if you're not getting better, you're wasting time.
Yeah.
But you got anything else?
I wanted to jump into a little bit of like philosophy because I've been like reading, and I was reading recently some Nietzsche. Have you ever heard of Friedrich Nietzsche?
Never.
So he was sort of like people call him like the father of like nihilism. But he's got some interesting points. He's the philosopher that famously said God is dead and we killed him.
Oh, okay.
And like a lot of people take that in like a really weird context that like he means like literally God is dead and like physically like it's taken as like this atheistic like talking point, which is really dumb and lame because that's not at all what he was saying. Basically what he was saying is like our cultural relevance or revelry for God is dead.
So is it that was this the thing that was spoke about whenever Time magazine asked that question on it? Like there was a time back, I read about it in that Phil Robertson book.
Maybe
where the question, I want to say it was like in the 70s maybe or 80s, and it was like the Time magazine cover just said, "Is God dead?"
I don't think so. I think
was that prior to this, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Anyways.
But the idea when he said that was that we're going to end up in a society where like there's no more like objective truth.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything is just like the individual's thoughts, and that's all that really matters. You can definitely see where like we've gotten to a point like that, but it's also like such a lame like doomer, like, oh, everything sucks, like it's such a complaining, like whiny, like outlook on life.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you don't like something, just don't let that be you. Like you can choose your outlook. You can affect the way you perceive the world.
Yeah.
You know? Like choose joy. Like we talked about in the very beginning of this. Like there's these people that like to quote like Nietzsche and like a lot of like Stoic philosophers. And I just like I know like when I was young, I was super into reading like Nietzsche and like Marcus Aurelius and like a lot of these like Stoics.
Mm-hmm.
And like the idea of like Stoicism is that if you can sort of separate yourself from like the emotions of a situation, that's how you like kind of make the best decisions.
Which I agree with to a certain extent on certain
To
situations.
an extent, but like you can get really extreme with it to where like you're trying not to feel any emotions and you're trying to like just be reasonable and logical. It's like,
well, you're taking the human aspect out of it and you're only
Yeah.
analyzing statistics.
you're killing your spirit when you do that. I
Yeah.
think like you're really like you're trying to make yourself less than human,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Well, I don't know. Because, like, when you're making business decisions or something, you know what I mean?
Right. There
Like,
are
you don't
some
want to go based off
decisions-
of emotion.
Exactly.
or
There are
else you're
some
screwed.
decisions that need logic more than emotion.
Yeah.
But when you're making like
You-
people get so carried away with it that they don't want to feel like emotions about like anything ever.
Yeah.
Like
Which is a problem.
Yes. You are a person that should be experiencing and feeling every range of emotions. And if you're not, that's lame as hell. That's to be a completely emotionless like automaton who, oh, I've got logic to get me through this problem.
Mm-hmm.
You're lame. You're a loser.
Yeah. Well, and it's not necessarily, you're just not ever going to be able to experience any kind of joy or fun or anything like
Yeah.
that if you think that way. Like, I think making the decision on the trajectory of your life, you should probably not go fully off of emotion. But
there's got to be a balance. I don't
whenever
want anybody to
you
think that I'm
are
right.
conducting yourself on a daily basis, like, you are usually in control of whether it's a good perspective on something or a bad one.
Yeah.
And I think if you don't take because essentially if you're removing emotion from it, you're trying to remove what it makes you feel.
Yeah, of course.
And not being in touch with how you feel is how we get into really dark places.
Yes. And that's where this leads is like going through life as this automaton, you get into like nihilistic and like these weird territories of feelings. And like
Mhm.
you can't shut out feelings. There's no way to do it.
Mhm.
Because if you're not choosing joy and you're choosing I don't want to feel anything, really you're choosing negative emotion.
Well, the only time you choose or the only time you truly feel nothing, you're essentially choosing death before you're dead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
and
an
I feel like
issue.
that's where the negative perspective of death comes about. Like, is death ugly? Of course.
Yeah.
Like, it's horrible. We've seen it 100 times, probably more. Like, someone losing their life, leaving their body. But it's like, there's also right at the end for some people, you can see a relief.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
an acceptance.
Yeah. Or like a reassurance
Yeah.
that it's good to see. You know what I mean? And it's like, I think as a nation, or not a nation, but like as a people, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're taught weird things about death to where, I mean, especially if we're not like people who aren't Christian, you know, like why would you look forward to it? I'm not saying I look forward to dying, but like, why would you have a positive outlook on what happens after you pass away if you think that's the very end of who you are?
Yeah. That's terrifying for most people.
Which is why I think removing emotions, they just use that as
it's like a crutch.
well, it's a crutch, but it's like it's a way that society has kind of weaned its way into piggybacking to push spirit away from you focus on the spirit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I see that.
See what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh yeah, if you don't feel emotions, everything's easier. You can end up making more money if you do this statistic and that or whatever. And if you just take your emotions out of it, it's easy and it's good. It's what you should do. So you might as well just take your emotions out of everything.
Cold and like purely logical, reason your way through life.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't make any sense. That's like that's poisonous.
Yeah.
That's so like bad for you. You're not living like the creature that you're supposed to be. The like, I don't know, man. It's hard to describe exactly what I'm feeling and trying to say.
Well, and it's almost like the devil's way of, and I'm not like there's it doesn't say that in here or anything, but it's like, it's almost like he's taking advantage of the way emotions make you feel.
Mm-hmm.
That way you try to stay away from it.
Yes.
And then, because whenever you're influenced by the Holy Spirit, like, it doesn't always mean like you're going to have this divine response to a situation, but it's certainly, your emotions affirm what has happened to you a lot of times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so if you take that away, everyday life, like you're like, okay, you have to be emotionless in everything you do. Like if you're feeling a heightened sense of whatever, it's baloney, right? Like it's not a real reality. That's not really what's going on. That's just your perspective of it. So you need to analyze the facts only. And it's like, if you can get them to take emotion out of it, then you can get them to stop seeking what it is that makes them feel good as an individual.
Yes.
Well, and the presence of joy is being in the presence of God. We know, we read about that last week.
Absolutely.
And it's like, if you can take it the pursuit of joy away from somebody, then you take away part of the reason they're seeking out their savior. You know what I mean?
The idea that like when you think about stuff too much, like you're sitting there and you're like bending yourself around all these ideas, and like when you negotiate with yourself and you have these like you are imprisoning yourself by your own thoughts. You just do it. Like, stop thinking about it. Like, make something happen. You get results. Because you can sit there enslaved to your thoughts forever. You know? Like, if nothing happens, nothing happens. If you don't do something, you won't do something. So, like...
You've been watching too many Shia LaBeouf clips.
Maybe.
If you don't do something, you won't do something, bro.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Shia LaBeouf is pretty cool, dude.
But he's also a very good actor. So
it's hard to know if he's that cool or if he's acting.
That's what I'm saying. How can you put some weight with somebody who's literally made millions off of acting like other people?
Yeah.
You know? So it's kind of hard to see.
Yeah, dude. Free yourself from the prison of your own thoughts. Like, stop being somebody that, like, sits there and, like, thinks about everything and has, like, this rational, like, dialogue in their head. Some things require a little thought, but a lot of the stuff that, like, I know, me personally, I know other people, they get bent around these ideas and, like, this crazy sort of, just really whiny, complainy, worried, anxious dialogue in their head. Just stop. Just stop thinking so much.
Well, I mean, I don't necessarily say even stop thinking is really what we need to do as much as it is like rely on other people's thought too. Your friends. Like if you have a bunch of friends or even if you don't have a bunch of friends, right? Like if your circle is really small, there has to be some different perspective there.
Yeah.
So really appreciate what it is your path or has given you, right? With other people. So consider other people's thought.
Absolutely.
Especially if it's different than yours.
Well, I also
especially
think,
if it's different than yours.
A lot of the time, whatever problem you have is a lot simpler than what you're making it out to be.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's really you make it difficult because you want to be the right one.
Yeah.
So you're not going to listen to somebody who knows what they're talking about or has been through that and it worked. It may not be the best solution, but it worked for them. And you're like, yeah, no, that's stupid. Yeah. They're idiots. They believe a certain way, and
Yeah, I've also heard like one of my favorite sayings is like the problem isn't the problem.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is how you're thinking about the problem.
The problem isn't the problem; it's the perspective. That's the problem. Yeah.
Exactly, dude.
Well, and 90% of the problem we face today is like we see it and we're like, oh no, I don't know, it's an issue. And then we sit around and think about how big of an issue it is whenever we could have had it done already.
Yeah, of course. So my solution for that, lean on your friends, lean on your family, lean on God.
Lean on me
when you're not strong.
You crushed that one, buddy.
Thank you.
You did. That was that was hard. That was tough. No, but have conversations with your friends in person. Put down the phone, crush the phone, put it in the microwave, but subscribe to us and comment before you do. Love you guys.
Bye.